Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Hello, everybody. It looks like I'm soloing right now. Let's see, Demon Orb, Greg, Hartwick. Hello, guys. Glad to have you here. Hope my sound's good. Testing. All right. Well, everybody's at the doctor's apparently right now. So, Junie, thanks for showing up. Well, I do have links in the Twitter DMs for MidAmerican chat, and as well as there are links to get in here in the MidAmerican chat section on Discord. So if you want, anybody wants to come in and join me. But let's see here. Well, I guess I'll wait until we'll see if anybody else shows up before I get into the main topic here. So let's see, what can we cover while we're waiting. Well, yeah, I've been working on my Timeless Island project a little bit. I've been revising how I've been putting it together, streamlining things so it'll be a bit easier to work with. I'm using Tiddlywiki, and I found a few new tricks that makes things a whole lot easier for me to put together the tables. I've separated out the coastal biomes even more. So now I have two separate coastal forest biomes, along with, what else would I here? Along with the coastal grasslands and salt marshes. Yeah, it's a big project. Mind for trying to come in, audio issues. Yeah, no big deal. I can carry a show for a little bit. Well, yeah, I guess I'll put a screenshot up of what I'm talking about. Let's see here. There we are. All right. Here's what I have so far. So this is the complete list of the island fauna. And right over here is a map key to help me figure out what the trophic levels are here, and also included a list of the current and time periods in which some of the animals are from. And this is just going to give you a quick rundown on the different habitats I can list just over here in this habitat section. I put this in basically just as a means of quickly copy and pasting what I need into each section. Is to create this list, what I do is actually I create something called a tiddler on here, which is a separate section. And then from this section here, I can put in the tags I need, the name of the thing that's in the title, and down here on the fields, I can add in aquatic, modern, and all that, and that's what you see showing up here. So instead of creating a table through HTML and inputting everything into the HTML table and having to redo it over and over and over, I can just create this one file and link to it into this table here. And then I can just, by using the different tags, I can create multiple different tables from the tags. It's from the one thing I created. Plus, once I get into more detail, I can fill in more stuff into the into each of those little biomes, and to give more detail of each species. Let's see, the island itself. And why don't we go over this a little bit more since I'm sitting here. This is a deep sea biome. I haven't added that to the main list here yet. Deep sea kind of gives an overview of the depth of the deep sea here. The size of the sea around the island in 484,000 kilometers squared. I came up with a 5,000 kilometer area based on the Bermuda Triangle, assumed size. Seeing as this is supposed to be a timeless island, it's basically an island and body of water are separated by a temporal anomaly, pulling in things from around on the planet and around across time. Thus, why you have a mix of prehistoric, modern, and speculatively future animals, which I'm pulling from sources like. Here we are.
Hi, Mage.
Hello. Dixon's After Man and The Future is Wild. A little bit of a thing on the island, some of the stats on the island here. So, tropical subtropical environment existing in a temporal anomaly. The island size about 16,000 kilometers square. They're surrounded by a sea, 484,000 kilometers square. Total temporal area about 500 kilometers. The biomes, I'll probably have to update this, but jungle consisting of about 11,000 kilometers. There's grassland square kilometers. Grasslands consisting of about 3,000 square kilometers. And about 2,000 square kilometers of other biomes consisting of a mountain with about 100 square kilometer diameter, or a freshwater lake about 90 square kilometer, swamplands, wetlands, beach, yada yada, freshwater river. Kind of give you a rundown on what I've got put together. Any rate, the idea is I'm thinking about once I get everything, the basics established for this is I'll have polls set up in my show on Sunday where people can pick animals and plants and stuff to go into the island. Now, what do you think? Journey, you're pretty much a regular on my show, coming into to watch my shows, so I could use feedback.
When I came in, you were kind of in the middle of the presentation, so is this like a speculative evolution kind of thing, or
think something along the lines of the Land of the Lost. Okay. Basically it's a temporal anomaly, sort of like the Bermuda Triangle or something. Actually, use the size of the proposed size of Bermuda Triangle as the basis of the size of the area, and it's basically pulling in animals from across the planet and across time. So you have prehistoric animals, you have speculative future animals, modern animals, but the difference between what I'm doing here and most of the other stories where you have this kind of thing is I'm creating a pseudo plausible ecosystem.
Okay.
And that's what's taking me so long with putting this all together.
Okay.
So once I got the groundwork all laid out, I'm thinking about setting up like polls during every week with a few animals, and let people vote on what to add to the island.
Gotcha. So conceivably, we could have lions and velociraptors in the same environment.
Essentially, I will vet what I put up in the poll first, of course.
Yeah.
To make sure that it'll work. I've already had to make a few adjustments already with a few of the things I had in mind.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, and I've kind of had some story ideas in the back of my head for playing around with it as well. Once I get it fully established, with humans showing up on the island from being pulled in,
Okay.
shipwrecked, and all that.
Maybe some Roswell Gray aliens in there too.
I don't know. Maybe if it was a future human species, I don't know. Some of the future species I've already included the rainbow squid from Futures Wild, the sharkopaths from Futures Wild. I really like the rabucks from the After Earth book. Basically it's a species of rabbit that has evolved to take over the niche of a deer.
Okay.
And it's basically take on sort of like a rabbit in deer form.
Interesting. Yeah, I remember one of Larry Niven's books. I think it was World at a Time, maybe. It's one where somebody from the 20th century, he's got an incurable disease, so he has his body, frozen until medical research finds a cure, and he wakes up in this extremely dystopian world where his body was destroyed by ice crystals as part of the freezing process, but they took his personality and put his personality in the body of a prisoner who had been, the prisoner's sentence had been to have their personality wiped. So he wakes up
familiar.
And he wakes up in this world where he doesn't really have any rights, and he winds up forced into becoming a pilot for a ship that seeds planets for terraforming, and by the time he gets back, he's traveled at relativistic speeds for long enough that it's like tens of thousands of years by the time he gets back, and when he's on the ocean, he sees what looks like a dolphin, but it's really far away, and he's like, oh, whales went extinct and dolphins evolved to fit to fill that niche. So although I thinking of dolphins with baleen, that's I guess that would be part of that process.
Let's see here. This is what day is this? Make sure that's okay. That's muted. Just because day. And yeah, apparently this is actually a day. So make sure. Did I grab the right one? Yeah. Okay, I did. Just because day. See? National Just Because Day, August 27th. On August 27th, National Just Because Day offers up an opportunity to do stuff just because. Well, I guess that's me working in my little island project is a good one. It's just because.
Yep.
So feel free to celebrate this day any way you choose, just because. Sounds good. Every day we all do things that are expected or required of us. Sometimes we even do things because we have to do them. We don't know why. Well, on this occasion, and that does not apply. This day is a chance to do something without rhyme or reason. It could be that there is an outfit at the mall that you are admiring. Buy it just because. Maybe you want to use a vacation day just to go fishing to do it. Yeah, just because. Perhaps you would like to pay the tab for the table next to you at your favorite restaurant. Do it. That sounds like a good one. Possibly you want to sing really loud while you're in your car. Or be yourself with your windows rolled down. Surprise someone with flowers. Make something up just because. Or maybe just because do something just because. Mom said so.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool. So some of those are more practical than others.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. We got bad news. A Minneapolis shooting, 8-year-old and a 10-year-old killed, 17 others hurt at Catholic school.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yep.
Lovely.
And some people are online are saying, well, thoughts and prayers, and of course there are also others saying, yeah, thoughts and prayers aren't enough. They were already praying.
Yeah. But God needed an angel or some crap, or maybe he was just sleeping on the job. He was too busy being non-existent. That's it.
So, any word from Purple on when she's going to be joining, or is she going to?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was expecting her to be here.
Yeah. And that was her plan.
Yeah, 14 children were injured in the shooting during the mass shooting. The shooter himself apparently killed himself afterwards.
Yeah.
Used a rifle or shotgun. With a rifle, shotgun, and rifle, shotgun, and pistol. Okay. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah.
That sucks. I'm not sure if this covers anything else and what the motive was or whatnot.
Yeah. Anything that I saw, it was too early to say. Given that he offed himself, the only way to find out would be to go through like his social media and stuff.
Yeah, I guess so.
On the brighter side of the news.
Oh, there's a bright side to the news today?
Well, it's from last week, but James Dobson died.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Back in the 90s, I was still kind of stuck in the dark ages, and listen to a lot of Focus on the Family stuff on the radio. And my sister-in-law used to listen to a lot of Focus on the Family stuff, and it seemed like over the years they were taking they were never really affirming of gay rights, but they kept taking a darker and darker turn towards homophobia, and my sister-in-law's values kept getting more and more progressive, and it's like, I'm not with them anymore. So by like the by the mid-aughts, she was saying that that she just couldn't hang with them anymore.
Let's see here. Apparently believe that pain is a marvelous purifier. Looking at the Wikipedia on this piece of shit.
Yeah. Although I do remember one time, they were sharing a talk by Elizabeth Elliot, who had worked as a Christian missionary in South America during the 70s, and she was talking about a time when her dad disciplined her kid, who was an infant, and disciplined the kid with a spanking. And to their credit, James Dobson and his sidekick at the time were like, that's we're going to call that abusive. Well, okay, so there is a line there for him. That's good.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh yeah, here we are. He warned against harsh spanking, as he found it unnecessary to beat a child into submission. In a 1997 book, he warned that discipline must not be harsh and destructive to the child's spirit. So as long as I'm guessing he wasn't against spanking altogether, just not being too harsh about it.
Right.
Ah, jeez. Adjusting your mic there.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a shadow issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was spent yesterday and part of this morning kind of rearranging my studio to get the green screen stuff set up, and I got the basics in place. It can use a little fine tuning.
Yeah.
Mind if I drop real quick and see if I can get the background pulled up?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Hello, Orla. You're Victoria. Hello, Victoria. No, I don't know where her Purple is. I'm guessing she's still trying to get back from her doctor's appointment. I kind of have a feeling she'd be late, even with the time moved up. And Jenny is also in the doctor's appointment at the moment, apparently. So everybody's at doctors right now. I don't know how much. I know Jenny's been sharing quite a lot about what's going on with her. I don't know how much she wants publicly shared, so I'm gonna just not say what's going on there until I'll let her say that if she gets back here or not. Oh, there's Purple.
Hello. Yeah, it definitely wasn't my fault. I got to my appointment 10 minutes early and then had to wait 45 minutes for the doctor.
Knew that was going to happen.
People ask me why I can never get anywhere on time. This is why. It doesn't pay to get there on time. I might as well be half an hour late getting everywhere.
Well, that's how it goes with the doctors. You get there on time. You get there on time, and you wait at least a half an hour.
Usually that clinic's pretty good. Usually they're, like within 15 minutes of the appointment time. Of course, the trick is that, you get in there and they get a nurse in there to, do the screening questions and take your blood pressure so that, then they can claim that your appointment started on time.
I see.
Well, that's how they get their metrics, to say which clinic is doing well. That they can say that, yeah, we were on time for 85% of our appointments. Because that's actually what happened. That, the nurse took my blood pressure and then I was sitting there in the exam room for another half hour before the doctor finally came. Hey, Orla. And Junie's here. And Tori and Victoria. Tori and Victoria, yes. And Demon Orb. And Greg, of course. So appreciate you being here, Mage, and getting things started for us.
Yep, I was just rambling on about my Timeless Island project, and I went over what the day is, just because.
Yep.
And I covered the mass shooting that happened.
Yeah.
Hi, Purple.
Hello. Yeah, well, it happened at a church, so they're going to, blame this on the atheists for sure.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, so I was saying that the reason why God didn't stop because he was too busy being non-existent.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling that this is going to get a bit of a different reception. Because when shootings were only happening in the public schools where the poor people sent their kids, they didn't get much attention. But now if they're happening at the private schools where the wealthy people are sending their kids, we might see some movement from the government.
Yeah, now that it's a real problem.
Yeah.
This is actually like the third one that's happened to a church school in the past year.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got both of my kitties up here with me.
Hey,
All
kitties. I had catfish and potato wedges for lunch. So
Catfish
deli.
has a pretty strong flavor. I've never been fond of it.
That was actually one here was actually pretty mild. It was from the grocery store deli.
Was probably a farm raised one, have a bit of a milder taste.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm comparing it to the ones that my cousin catches live at the lake.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be much stronger flavor.
Yeah, because they're bottom feeders, they just scrounge around in the mud for whatever they can find.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was considering adding those to my island.
Ethan, don't try it.
What's Ethan trying to do?
He is trying to climb up an unstable pile and looking like he was about to try and make a jump to another unstable pile. And I can guarantee you at least one of those was going to collapse, if not both of them. He was going to get caught in an avalanche of Lego pieces. Yeah, the one he was standing on was just a pile of bagged up Lego.
Oh, jeez.
I was thinking back to my idea on my way over to the doctor today that, we really should start making, the bodies of cars out of Lego. Because then if you get in an accident, it's not a big deal. You just sweep up all the pieces and it becomes a group participation project with all the witnesses as they reassemble the two cars. And you buy your basic little 2-door hatchback, and when you have a kid, so you need more room, you just buy an expansion kit and you make it into a sedan. If you need to haul something, you buy another expansion kit and you make it into a pickup or a minivan. If you're going on a long road trip, you buy another expansion, you make it into a camper. If you don't need the camper anymore, you can downsize it back down to the sedan and sell all the extra pieces on Bricklink and recover a good amount of your cost.
I could use a car that could expand and contract like that. Well, that'd definitely be useful.
And honestly, they're using so much plastic making the cars these days that as long as you've got a solid frame between the engine and the axles, I don't think making them out of Legos would make them any worse than they are now.
Captive Dusk, hello. Tori, do we get Tori?
Hill Bigfoot.
I said hi to Tori when I came in. Tori snuggled up on the couch with Doggo.
Oh, here's something. This sounds oh so tasty. KFC has launched a pickle Pepsi in Canada. It's part of a new pickle-filled menu with a chicken sandwich, fried pickles, and loaded fries. And yeah, apparently you get pickles in your soda.
Gross.
Yeah.
I can't see adding vinegar to Pepsi as being at all appealing.
Pickle Pepsi.
Now, the pickles on the chicken sandwich and, even the fried pickles.
Yeah, the rest of it doesn't look too bad.
Pretty good.
I don't know, but yeah, the pickle in the soda. No.
I'm personally not a fan of the fried pickles, but they're not bad, and actually they're a very popular item in Minnesota in general.
Yeah, I'd eat the rest of that, but I don't think I want pickles in my Pepsi.
Well, and anytime we took out the deep fryer, Slothgirl liked to make some fried pickles.
Yeah, somewhere recently I saw like a pickle flavored, like pickle flavored Mountain Dew.
Ooh.
I think.
Oh, so is that the trend this year that everything can be pickled flavor?
I think so.
Yeah, I even saw some pickle flavored relish.
No, that doesn't sound too bad.
Oh, Captive Desk said tonight at 7 for birthday streaming.
No, is it your birthday? Oh, happy birthday then.
All hail Bigfoot.
And Orla said about getting tomato soda and said that's pretty good.
Tomato soda.
So,
I
well,
don't think I've seen tomato soda. I've seen some pretty weird sodas though.
Is that maybe a Canadian thing?
Orla's in the UK.
Okay, gotcha.
But well, I'm trying to imagine. Is that like, carbonated tomato juice or what?
I've had cucumber soda before. It's a very mild flavor. Celery soda. They had that. I didn't try it, but there was a ranch dressing soda I found.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Yeah,
There's a company called Jones that makes just weird flavored sodas.
Yeah, I saw it at the place called Rocket Fizz they used to have around here.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they closed down. I really like going there because I could get some really interesting flavors, and some of them are actually pretty good. I personally like the chocolate flavored soda they had.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those things at a place in Minnesota on the way down to Mankato, called it's the world's largest candy store, and it's there's a project to widen the highway that it's on, so they might have to relocate or adjust their building to accommodate that.
Okay, Orla said the tomato soda is a Chinese thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
Actually, another one that was really good that I got from that Rocket Fizz place was the Maud's apple pie soda.
I think the largest candy store had that also.
Yeah, it's sort of like a granny apple flavor.
If anybody's gonna be in the middle of my face, it needs to be me, okay? You can't come on here and be impersonating me on my own channel.
I was doing that earlier.
Yeah, well, when I wasn't here, it was okay for you to do it. I just wish I still can't figure out how to get mine, to be an icon that fills the whole circle.
Well, I'm using a split cam.
Oh, okay.
I imagine Journey there's using a camera too. I mean,
yeah,
so
I've gotta feed it in through something else.
Yeah.
It's not something StreamYard will do.
Something to activate your camera and do that.
I had split cam installed before, but it kept bombing out when I was trying to do streaming on other channels.
In the middle of it, or before when you tried to first open it?
Yeah, it gave me problems with opening it.
Oh,
I wouldn't use it for a few weeks, and then when I'd go to open it, it just wouldn't work.
It kept giving me. I haven't had it in a while, but it kept giving me this thing where like it was wanted to reinstall or something, and I just hit OK, and it's let it do its thing, and it worked.
Yeah, well, I wasn't getting that message, but yeah, I basically wound up having to reinstall it every time I went to use it. It could just be that, my computer is not state of the art, so maybe the newer versions of it are having trouble working with slightly older hardware. So how's your studio coming along?
Fairly well. I've got I've got all the basics in place. Need a little fine tuning, so like the camera is not leaning the way it is. And my background image that I want to use, apparently StreamYard wants me to dumb it down. It's I've got a lower res version of it. So yeah.
What size is it asking for, and what size is it?
It's asking for 5 meg.
5 megabyte.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I haven't really played around with the backgrounds on this thing, so.
Well, and I know that last few times I've loaded it up, it's been giving me some messages about some new features, but I keep forgetting to check them out when I don't have a show scheduled right away.
Virtual background guideline, I guess that's what you're looking at.
So the size of my actual image is a little bit over 7 megs.
That shouldn't be too hard to scale down.
Yeah. And I do have a lower res version of the image that should work. I just think I've done all the fiddling around with it that I need to on a stream.
Well, is it your background image it's having trouble with, or does it want you to turn your camera resolution down?
That's the background image.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's talking about uploading a background image to the
okay.
visual effects.
Yeah.
So, turn on the visual effects and do stuff like that. You know, build a custom one there.
Captive Desk is asking about your garden.
It's a huge mess. I've actually had to break it down and buy yard waste bags to bag up a bunch of stuff. The moringa, I've been getting a lot of moringa seeds. I need to shell them. I'm gonna try roasting them. I might do a video on that.
Moringa seeds?
Moringa.
I'm not sure what those are.
It's a tree. And it's very healthy. All parts of it are edible. I usually you pick off some of the leaves and put them in a salad or a soup. By themselves, they can be a bit spicy or a bit bitter. And the pods themselves, I was a little late on harvesting them. I should have harvested some of them so I could cook them. But I let them go too long, so I'm just gonna harvest the seeds. I tried one seed. I tried one seed raw, and it's a bitter flavor with a sweet aftertaste. Really weird flavor combination. Didn't much care for it, but apparently, if you cook them, they get a nutty flavor. So I'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Mage had trouble with his garden. You know, starting with hurricane damage and
hurricanes.
He's having some health problems himself, not getting it all cleaned up.
Yeah, hurricanes, health issues, and it's just a huge mess now. And
yeah,
I'm slowly trying to put it back together. So I've got stuff. I do have some stuff growing that's just growing wild right now, but yeah.
Yeah, see, up where we live at this point, it would just be getting ready to put it down for the winter because we don't have enough of a growing season left to expect anything to come up before we can start getting snow.
In fact, having something that would wipe everything out might actually be useful for me at this point because I have to clear away all the weeds.
Yeah.
Plus, I've been in the middle of working on digging a new pond when I got sick too. So
Yeah, because for Minnesota, it's basically a coin flip of whether or not we'll have snow by Halloween. Although, things have been getting warmer, so the snow has been tending to be pushed off later.
Yeah, Halloween is usually a prime time for me to start planting stuff.
Yeah.
So I can plant more or stuff that you might normally plant, like all the brassicas and carrots and all that, and stuff that you normally would think of as garden plants.
Yeah, stuff that would probably be summer crops here.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna. I think I got my background thing figured out. I'm gonna drop and come back in again.
Okay. I've got like Sharpies of like 50 different colors. Is that all I need to reprogram the weather?
Apparently.
Oh, Orla, I hope you heal up quick.
Oh.
Yeah, I have had 3 hernia operations.
Ooh, not fun.
And the last one they did was so bad that I couldn't stand up straight for a couple of weeks. Of course, the last one they did on me was because the mesh they had used on the second one was recalled.
Oh, jeez.
So it's like, they weren't automatically doing all the patients, but, there was I read a thing about a recall of it, and about 8-9 months later, mine tore again. And that was exactly what they were talking about, that it was recalled because in many cases it was not attaching to the muscles properly. I've been trying to...
There we go.
Oh, now you're in the library. Okay. You look so much smarter all of a sudden.
Yeah, that'll fool him.
Yeah, that's just a meme at this point about, anybody who's trying to pass themselves off as being really intelligent has the bookcase backdrop.
Yeah.
Well, one thing you're missing is the invisible flying elephant. I don't see him there.
Well, of course. You wouldn't.
So, oh, hey, Commander. Commander, Captive Desk, if any of you want to drop in here, I can send you a link. I mean, the link is always posted in my Discord, so anyone who has access to my Discord can come and join in.
So I've got a in the spirit of Just Because Day, I've got a Just Because project I've been thinking about, and I've talked to Mage a little bit about it already, but I could use some more input. And I can give you all a kind of a concept sketch of it. And some of the more underhood details, we could talk about off air. Like, I don't know if y'all have time, after the stream is over.
Yeah, actually, I should. I thought I had a group thing going tonight, but it got canceled.
Gotcha. What about you, Mage?
What was that?
Do you have time after the show to talk off air for a bit?
I might.
About the project I was telling you about?
Yeah, I might.
Okay. So hearing the story, last week on transpositions about the park ranger that got fired for her part in displaying a trans pride flag at El Capitan, kind of inspired me.
Actually, I have not gotten a chance to watch last week's transpositions yet.
Okay.
It's in my list of things to catch up on.
Okay. So should I not give spoilers at this time then?
No, go ahead with the spoilers. It would be good if you could give me a brief of the story, which would be good anyway for anybody in our side chat who may not have seen it.
Yep. Okay, so a park ranger that worked at El Capitan, who is herself trans, on her day off, she and some friends got together and they installed a trans pride flag on El Capitan using equipment that's actually already there for the purpose of displaying, whatever flag you want for whatever reason. And of course, MAGA folks were making a big stink about it because, she was defacing the mountain, by which I think they meant she was putting something up that they didn't like.
Obviously.
Yeah. And she was actually fired for that. And I got to thinking, and the first verse of "My Country, 'Tis of Thee" was kind of going through my mind, and I was kind of picturing during the last phrase, seeing. It was kind of weird because when I was listening to the story, I was driving my car, so I couldn't see the video that Bree would have used as part of the story. But I was kind of imagining in my mind, what that might have looked like for that flag to be displayed there, and I was like, wouldn't it be neat if there was a video of the first verse of "My Country, 'Tis of Thee," and during the phrase, "Let freedom ring," you have the flag being unfurled, on El Capitan, and I got to thinking, I was like, it, that would be kind of a neat community project, like different, have different, trans voices and maybe some allies, singing the different parts of that song, and like, have maybe a video montage, playing over the vocals, and Mage and I talked about it yesterday, and And I've talked to some of the folks at Transpositions about it too. And generally the feedback from the folks at Transpositions is, that's a great idea. We're all stretched a little thin, so yeah, it's one thing for me to say, yeah, I had this idea that I like a lot. You guys take over and do it. And
are you familiar with working with audio equipment?
Or
like audio files and all that? Do you have experience with that?
So I've got whatchamacallit, Pinnacle Studio, which has some audio editing capabilities. So
the way you've described the project, imagine you probably need to adjust everybody's singing.
And that's
I would recommend downloading Audacity. It's a free software. It's a pretty powerful one. And you can that might help.
Okay.
Try to work on learning how to use that a little bit.
Actually, if it involves music, you should bring it up to the Humanist Guitarist is his new handle. It used to be Art Against Ignorance.
Okay.
But that's basically just he's all about music with a humanist message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'd be a good one. Bring on board with this.
And I mean he's got a little crew of people behind him as far as if you need some extra voices in that, and if you need some instruments for it.
Okay.
So yeah, we should get him on board for it. He's done a couple of songs for Granny's channel, and a couple of years ago, I had a pagan Christmas carol that I had done the words to, and he put the music and the video together for me.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the input.
Yeah, I'll send you. I'll get his link and I'll post it in the Twitter group later. So you can send him a DM on Twitter. But just anything that involves music and has a message to it, he'll definitely go in for.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely appreciate that. Well, would you two be willing to be part of kind of a committee to plan this?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm, not sure what kind of help you need. I suck with music, but
Well, just remember everybody to put your earplugs in for my part. Give you a heads up.
Well, see, I can get away with singing on YouTube because the original performer will never recognize the song when I do it.
Yeah, I'd have to probably do it a little bit differently than what I usually do through acapella, and the way you want to do it, I'd have to kind of practice it some.
Okay.
Because usually, for some reason, when I try and record with this microphone, the sound noises comes out really soft and low.
Okay.
So usually, what I have to do when I'm recording, like for a video or something, I usually have to record on my phone and then I'll adjust the audio from there.
Interesting.
It's a pain in the ass. I wish I could record with the microphone, but for some reason I can't seem to get it to work right. Sounds fine when I'm talking on stream to everything, so I don't know. Maybe I should try recording through StreamYard here, see if that works. I know it has a record feature.
Yeah.
I've been trying to do voice training, but I haven't really been pursuing it very well. And I think what I need to start doing to practice it is maybe reading out loud. Just to try and feminize my voice a bit better.
Yeah, I hear you.
No, if it helps, it's not really noticeable as it is.
Hey, Ivy.
Hello.
Come and join us if you have time there. And Commander, congratulations.
Nice.
You're having some good effects there. Almost muted someone. What was that from your cat jumping on the keyboard? I have that problem sometimes because Sammy starts putting his paw up on the keyboard and like often starts, hitting some of the F keys, and then my computer does random things that I don't understand. That I don't know which key started it, and I don't know how to get it to stop.
Well, he's just looking for that nuclear destruct button.
Actually, there is a video about how to fix your cat, and the guy who does these animations is great. But the one on how to fix your cat, is saying about like stroke him behind the ears, until he freezes, and then you can open the access panel on the side. Make sure you look for this logo and so forth, and that all the newer models are now nuclear powered. So first test the nuclear reactor for a leak. Take off the cover plate and wait 3 seconds. If you're still alive, there is no leak. Oh, Ivy's getting new windows in the house. I used to do such things. I used to do all sorts of home repairs, and I used to tell people, that I really was a jack of all trades, that, you could find 100 guys who could put the new windows in, but I was probably the only one who could go on to sew the curtains.
Nice.
Hey, Porpoise.
Hello.
Yeah. Especially if you're dealing with teenagers. So,
Yeah, I gotta
Porpoise,
love
has your school year already started?
Well,
Yeah,
teenagers have selective hearing.
Yep.
yeah. Oh, open houses tonight. Yeah,
Oh, fun.
yeah.
Hmm.
Molly just had to go to the school with her son last night for their open house and to meet his new teachers and such.
I actually always liked open house. It gave me a chance to look around the school in ways I usually couldn't.
Yeah. Well, I often looked around the schools in ways I wasn't supposed to, and often got away with it because most of the staff assumed that if a student was in there, someone had authorized it. Actually, I was just pretty good at popping the locks. I learned the trick at an early age that, with just the interior doors that lock, that often you can just use something like a credit card or a spatula and you can get the door open.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I learned that when I was like 10 years old. So I would use my student ID to pop the door open, and they assumed that somebody had to have a key to let me in there, so they didn't bother me.
Let's see, here's a post. Without the dumbest populace in America history, the American into authoritarian fascism would never have been possible. See, the meme is things Republicans believe in before Trump. Actually, I probably should put this on screen. There we are. Let's see. State rights, the Constitution, the justice system, law and order, freedom of speech, rights capitalism, limited government, reducing the debt, Russia is America's enemy, and allies should be defended. And it's not anymore.
Well, actually, Trump is trying to protect all that. Any of those that have gone wrong, it was Biden's fault.
No, of course. It's never Trump. It's never Trump's fault. Yes, he'll take credit for the things he didn't do. And pass the blame off to somebody else for the things he did.
Well, yeah, he literally in a speech he made, like a week ago, he was literally saying that the war in the Ukraine would have ended if Biden hadn't been, so interested in sending money to Ukraine.
Oh, that's right. His idea of ending the war is to let the invader win.
Yeah. Or at least negotiate a peace deal that Russia gets half the country.
Yeah, so they can just go after the other half at another date.
Yeah. Well, not to mention that, Russia would get the half that's the most valuable one.
Oh, of course. You have to give them the half with the oil.
Yeah, well, a big reason that Russia finds the Ukraine so important is to get the seaport and the industrial manufacturing. Part of the problem Russia is having, that the war with the Ukraine has gone on too long, and the parts for most of their military vehicles were made in the Ukraine. So they can't get spare parts for their vehicles. It is kind of a case of biting the hand that feeds you there.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is just that Putin is realizing that the other oligarchs were taking more than he realized, that a lot of the money that was supposed to be going to maintain the military has just kind of vaporized somewhere. That obviously the money was not being spent on keeping the military vehicles in, tip-top condition. Yep, 2/3 of the Soviet weapons manufacturing was in Ukraine.
How do I even respond to this?
What about the Ukraine, or are you on something else?
No,
there?
I'm just looking at something.
Oh,
This guy, this is one of the responses from that meme I read. The hill the Democrats have chosen to die on. Defending illegal immigration, DEI, defunding the police, critical race theory, no voter ID to vote, abortion on demand, transgender children, and men and women in sports.
yeah.
I don't even know how to respond to this bullshit.
Yeah. I see one of the things in there they have is student loan forgiveness.
Yeah, so apparently that's a bad thing. It's apparently
Well, Trump is now offering that as an incentive to get people to join ICE.
And abolishing ICE is apparently another one of those hills.
Yeah. But to get more ICE agents, Trump is offering that all of their student loans would be forgiven. Because I guess they're having problems finding people who are fascist enough to continue to do those raids. Which I guess means that more people in this country have at least a shred of ethics than I realized. Yeah, that checks. I still say the Russians would have beat us to the moon if the engineers didn't keep drinking the rocket fuel. Well, the original Soyuz rockets were actually fueled with a low-grade alcohol. So it actually was a problem that somebody was siphoning off the alcohol. The proper response is, so you're saying that the Democrats, having chosen to die on the Appalachian mountain chain, because that's more than one hill. Yeah. I would say that that's more hills than we have in all of Minnesota.
How many hills are there in Minnesota? Buck Hill and what else?
It depends, what you consider the minimum size to be a hill. Just like the problem of Minnesota, it's like, what's the minimum size to be a lake? Because
yeah,
the 10,000 lakes is our tagline, but yeah, a lot of these in any other state would just be called the pond.
Yep.
We actually do have a mountain range up by Duluth, though. The northwest corner of the state, we've got the mountains that extend into the Dakotas. But the lower part of the state, we're at the beginning of the Great Plains. So pretty much once you go west out of Minnesota, everything's flat for several hundred miles.
Yeah.
Anything smaller than Lake Erie should not be considered a proper Minnesota lake. Ivy says we make a lake out of a sea. Yeah. I had to look it up to have a comparison. Because one of my friends in the UK was asking how big the Great Lakes actually are. So I had to find a comparison he could relate to, and it turns out that the surface area of Lake Superior is roughly equal to the surface area of Scotland. Because people weren't believing me when I said that the Great Lakes were actually larger than some European countries.
Yeah.
I had a short here that I ran across that I kind of wanted to play just in case there's anyone who doesn't already hate billionaires.
All right.
So hold on, let me get this started in another tab. Make sure it starts at the beginning. Excuse me. I don't know if people are familiar with the channel Refashioned Hippie. Whoops, wrong button.
Nope.
Is she the one that talks about bad design choices?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of her thing is the bad designs of these really high priced brands.
Yep. And you have to have a 13-year-old boy to pass any any phrasing by.
Yep, that's the one.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay, gotta make sure the share audio was on for this.
You need to bring it up. Purple.
Oh.
You bring in the stage.
Yeah.
It's really happening, and you should know about it. Basically, there is a
Okay, let
man-made
me
island
restart
off the
this.
coast of Miami where... Hello,
You got it
and
now?
welcome to part
Yes.
3 of our poop saga. I hate every part of what I just said. So this is a real thing. It's really happening, and you should know about it. Basically, there is a man-made island off the coast of Miami where super-duper crazy rich people live. And only super-duper crazy rich people. It is locally known as the Billionaire Bunker. This house, for example, recently sold for just under $22 million. But apparently rich people don't think about their poop. So rather than come up with their own system for handling they are just piggybacking off of the local community, which was just forced to rebuild their infrastructure for over $30 million, assuming that the rich people would kick in. They didn't. Doing instead what they do, they went to local Florida State House lawmakers and had them insert a rider into a transportation bill that would force the Surfside community to accept this new pipeline for their poop without having to foot any part of the bill. Again, I'll point you to the $22 million home. Local residents are calling this a huge tax dodge and just a way of shitting on them. Luis Prada, who wrote this article, I think says it perfectly, so I'm just going to repeat his words. An enclave of the ultra-rich, desperate to be cut off from the rest of humanity, forced a neighboring small town to eat the contents of their toilets with no financial compensation. They had to be the moochers that all billionaires actually are. So once again, the people living on a man-made island with only one very well-guarded entrance and exit refuse to clean up after themselves. This is why I hate the rich. Please follow me for more poop journeys. Okay. Hello, and welcome.
Thanks for sharing that, Purple.
That's very shitty of them.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, like I say, in case there was anybody who didn't already hate billionaires. this is the kind of crap they do, that they'll never spend their own money even on things that are essential to them. Always find some way to shrug the costs, shrug it off on people who make less than they do.
Yeah. Right, things are going. I think I might have to cut back on luxuries like food.
Oh, damn.
Well, I mean,
Which day of the week did I eat on?
Yeah, really.
Sumami, in a sense, they do give shit. That's all they give.
Yeah, in this case
shit.
they did. In case they did give a shit.
Yeah,
true.
Yay, Tori, you got all your chores done.
Woohoo! Yay, productivity.
Well, if I had to help Molly pick up a freezer on Saturday and then make another unscheduled run with her on Sunday, I would have gotten everything on my daily list done. Granted, it was my daily list for Thursday that I was still working on Sunday night, but I would have gotten everything on the list done.
Yeah, I think if I ever got my to-do list done, and the world would end. I got Molly here, coming up and saying hi, looking at me like, what you got? You were just eating a Cheez-It. Do you have a Cheez-It?
You know, you can always put the puppy on camera. That, you know, putting floofs on always increases viewership.
I need to get some soap on you. Some stuff.
Shitty bang bang. That sounds like a poorly made porno. No, that would be shitty gang bang. Okay.
Of a particular genre.
I don't even want to think about that.
It's a niche fetish, sure, I guess.
I still have no idea why, but someone showed me the 2 girls, 1 cup, and it is my headcanon that was chocolate pudding, and I will not accept anything else.
From my understanding, it actually wasn't poop. I've never seen it.
Yeah, well, I figured it was staged, and, you know, that's why I thought there actually is a pretty good chance it was chocolate pudding, but, you know, I never saw anything that definitively confirmed it either way.
Yeah, from what I understand, it was actually staged.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard of that on like an Apostate Sisters stream.
Yeah, actually, I think they did mention it on one of theirs. Yeah, they got into it a bit. Now, see, we all spend so much time, you know, analyzing and debunking all these things that I think that we should really put our talents together. Okay, Tsunami says it was actually probably pudding mixed with a melted cocoa bar.
You see, I was here talking about temporal anomalies in an island, and Purple comes in and we start talking about shit.
Okay. I'm not going to read that out loud, but there it is. But yeah, but just, you know, I was saying that we're all, you know, pretty good at just analyzing these things and, you know, debunking all this stuff that, you know, I think if we really got together, that we could create some much more realistic hoaxes. Personally, I actually think that all we need is, a good camera and a gorilla costume, and we can go in the wooded area down by the river, at night, and we could come up with some better Bigfoot footage than anything I've ever seen.
And then it'll get spread around without context, and it'll be like the pterodactyl that the Confederate soldiers took down.
Oh yeah.
Well, I have seen a quote unquote Bigfoot. Though actually, it was actually an orangutan, but that was creepy. It was a long time ago. Oh, they're in this state park where you can go camping, and an orangutan had escaped from the zoo and got into this park area.
Oh.
So as he was hanging out in the woods, and there was a lot of reports of Bigfoot at the time, of course. But as we were leaving the park, driving, we had to drive through this kind of a long dirt road to get to the exit. But as we were going, we had to really go slow because it was, rough terrain and all. And I was just kind of sitting there looking out the window, and as we were passing by, I saw it. It was just sitting there looking out from the brush.
Sinister Porpoise says, speaking of shit, Windows 12 release date has been announced. Have they gotten anybody to install Windows 11 yet?
I'm sure they forced it down some people's throats.
Yeah, mostly businesses. Hey, Junie. I'm glad you're back since I wasn't here when you were here before. Mayaka? I don't know what that means.
Yes, in fact, that's correct. That is where it happened.
Oh.
Mayaka.
Okay, that's where the orangutan was.
Yes.
Okay.
So you've heard the story.
Well, just, as you told it now as well. I think I had probably run across it on the internet sometime before. It sounded kind of familiar.
So that's in the Tampa area?
Yeah, well, Sarasota, it's a Tampa area. It's in my area.
Yeah.
I've been there a number of times.
So, Midge, you ever been to the Freedom Factory?
Freedom Factory? Nope, I don't think I've been there.
What's Freedom Factory?
So there's this YouTuber who goes by Cletus McFarland, who does like drag racing and drifting and burnout shows. And a few years back, he bought an abandoned oval racetrack, and that's where he does most of it. Well, a lot of his events is at this abandoned racetrack. It used to be called the DeSoto Motor Speedway, and now he calls it the Freedom Factory. And he's, of course, his look is all stars and stripes and bald eagles and bald eagle sound effects that are an osprey, I think. But and he's in the Mayaka area.
Yeah, well, even some Trump supporters are finally saying they've had it with him. Unfortunately, all indications are that the considerable majority of registered voters don't want to vote for either party.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how that's going to work out for the midterm elections if we're just going to have a lot of people sitting it out.
apparently the DNC threw us under the bus with some stuff lately too.
Yeah. Well, right from the start, they had thrown trans people under the bus. They were pretty much willing to, just let the Trump administration run rampant over trans people and brown people. They didn't do anything to stop it. Didn't do anything to even slow it down. Hey, Ollie, man. I won't vote for any party that wants me in it. Is that like the Groucho Marx thing that I would never belong to any club that would have me as a member?
But was that intended to be like a joke about anti-Semitism?
I don't see the link to anti-Semitism.
Well, like gentlemen's clubs would have, would have had. I'm speculating that, gentlemen's clubs back in the day would have had rules like, no Jews, no blacks, no.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's the kind of thing that he was joking about.
I guess I never made that connection. I I never really thought about the fact that they were Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Junie's saying that the Democrat base has been unheard, and it's worse that they're trying to stop progressives from running. And yeah, that's the big issue they're running into now.
Yeah.
Well, they've been always trying to stop progressives from running for a long time.
Yeah. But a couple of progressive candidates have won their primaries, and they're trying to keep them out of the general elections.
Yeah, it sounds par for the course for the Democrats.
Well, Junie, you can always put your name in there and see what happens. I will keep going back to what is my all-time favorite election story, was that in Pennsylvania in 2016, some guy wrote his own name in on the ballot, and by one vote, he won a seat to be a county judge because people didn't realize there were more seats open than there were candidates listed on the ballot. Sorry, Ethan asked me a question.
I always felt I'd be unqualified for any office position, but then again, I look at Trump and think I could probably do it.
Well, I had thought about running for a city council when I lived in St. Paul, just because I thought it would be fun to see how the reporters would react to someone who didn't try to deny anything. But then it occurred to me that, something might accidentally happen, like I might get a grassroots movement going for being honest about things, and I might actually win, and then they'd expect me to do the job.
Yeah.
So
you can just say,
I was too scared of winning to actually go through with it. I stuck to just doing my constructive vandalism to do my part for the city.
Constructive vandalism?
Yeah, there was at one corner of Como Park where I used to walk my dog, and there was a bus stop at that corner, but there wasn't a crosswalk. And for like 2 to 3 years, I kept, contacting our city council representative and trying to, just get somebody to put in a crosswalk. And, send a guy out there with a bucket of paint and a roller is all it would take. And never got any response at all from the city on that. So finally I got fed up and I just went out at about 2 o'clock in the morning and I painted a crosswalk.
There you go.
And the following spring, when they came and repainted all the crosswalks, they repainted the one I had put in. And for the next 5 years, every year, they continued to repaint that crosswalk, and then I moved away. So I don't know if it's still there now or not.
Oh, that's awesome, Perps.
It's like I can't remember which comedian was talking about how they had a pothole they just went out and filled up themselves. Yeah, you can just see me going to the state capitol, little building, and me up at the podium. All right, I have a few things to say. Fuck you, 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 fuck you. You're okay. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Oh,
How
man,
about
that's awesome.
everybody who voted for the big, beautiful bill should be impeached?
Hard.
Now, see, we need legislation that makes that kind of thing impossible.
Yeah.
That they can't pack everything into a single bill. There should be something about each bill being a specific topic and not being able to pack unrelated things into it.
Well, one idea that has been tried in that vein is the line item veto.
Yeah.
Although that has other problems.
Yeah. Some good news from Utah. Utah's kind of an odd state because it's still a Republican state, but from time to time they actually get something right. And I'm sure everybody's heard about the gerrymandering going on in Texas.
Yeah.
So they were trying to do the same thing in Utah and redistrict this year. And a judge threw it out of court because some years ago they were, I guess it was after the 2010 census, that's the normal time that they redraw the districts, that there was such a public outcry, it became a ballot item that they got passed for the districts to be drawn by, some neutral party. I don't know exactly how they determined who is doing it. So basically, the Republicans were trying to, overdo what a referendum ballot had put in place. And the judge says, no, you can't do that without doing another referendum. So the judge would not let them change the voting districts this year.
I think they're also trying to do the gerrymandering of Florida as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Republicans are probably doing it in every state they think will advantage them. Although somebody pointed out something interesting about the Texas ones, that in dividing it up to give themselves 5 more Republican seats, they brought 10 of the seats that have always been Republican to the point that they only have a very slight advantage in them. So they've got 10 seats that if something doesn't go exactly as they planned, it could flip anyway.
Yeah, from my hearing, if they really pissed off the minority group, oops enough that might really harm them. I'm not sure if that was in Texas or not, or some
Yeah.
other place.
Yeah, Ivy, I just have to be careful with using that word that rhymes with Bill on the air so that YouTube doesn't, decide that we're making threats. I cannot endorse anybody being violent or threatening. Not saying I necessarily discourage all of it, but I can't openly endorse it. Oh, and Ollie got the Highlander katana.
Nice.
Yeah, well, Democrats are threatening to retaliate with them.
It's in Cali.
Yeah, the Democrats in California and New York have threatened to redistrict to create more seats. So I'm not sure how many more seats they think they could make that way. But New York, of course, is one of the things that the Democrats are screwing up, because they got a progressive candidate for the mayor of New York City who is, extremely popular with the voters. And the Democratic National Party doesn't want to endorse him.
Yeah, it sounds like Democrats.
Yeah. Because he got elected on a platform of actually making things better for working class people.
How dare he?
That one of his planks is to make public transportation free, so that people could use the buses and trains to get to work without it costing them anything, so that hopefully that would be fewer cars on the street and they wouldn't have such massive traffic jams. Yeah, we can't have anybody pushing common sense policies.
No, we can only have people who promise these things. They can't actually. You're not supposed to actually deliver them. Come on.
Well, that's the other part of it that they didn't like is not only is he promising these things, he had a plan for how to finance them. The plan involves increasing the taxes on people making over $1 million a year.
Yeah, that's too much like doing something.
Yep, and that's why the Democrats won't endorse the progressive candidates, because they're afraid of, upsetting their big money donors and not getting all the billionaires and the corporations to be donating to their campaigns. And the Democrats are way underestimating, all of the, just the small money donors and the grassroots campaigns, which in the age of social media are becoming even more effective than they ever were before. That, a grassroots campaign now has a much better chance of winning, even than, well, especially because the Democrats don't understand social media.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to do things the old way, and they still think that they need hundreds of millions of dollars to run TV ad campaigns, when nobody I know actually watches commercial TV anymore.
Yeah.
With streaming services, that's really just, it's money wasted. It's money that they could be using much more effectively to get campaigns going on social media. Yeah. The Democrats are Republican-led. I've been saying that we don't really have a choice between right and left anymore. We have a choice between right and extreme right.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yep.
And why I don't berate people for not voting?
Yep. Well, and like Jenni says, that we need an actually useful interstate passenger train system. There is no reason that we can't have a passenger train between Chicago and Minneapolis. Yeah, it would have to hit Milwaukee on the way too, but yeah, they could route it through Madison. That would be fine. And like the times I drove out to Pennsylvania to help Lavender Lady, it's like I would have much rather taken a train if I could have. But because the train schedules were so effed up that there was no way I could do it with anything less than like a 10-hour layover in Chicago. So what was a 19-hour drive by the train was going to take me about 30 hours.
Oh, wow. And I suppose that's a function of the rail network being shared between Amtrak and freight.
Well, mostly it was just the connections between the trains. Because most of the trains don't have more than one train a day, leaving the station in any given direction.
Yeah. And that's a function of demand.
Yeah. Ivy Chan was pushing Kermit the Frog for president. And I had commented on that, yeah, if we had a puppet with a dead performer, it would be an improvement over what we have now. Even if we get rid of Trump at this point, it's like I'm really concerned that the U.S. is never going to be able to have the kind of position in the world that we were used to.
That's almost certain at this point.
Yeah, because any of our allies have to think that, any information they share with us is only confidential until the next election.
Yeah, we can't be trusted.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long time to build that trust back.
Yep. And it's going to be a lot harder, to deal with, all the little wars that pop up all over the world and with terrorists, if we don't have information shared with the European countries. If they're not telling us, where they suspect something might be coming from. Of course, Trump doesn't care because he just wants to know which side is going to pay him more for the weapons.
Yeah.
And that's what Trump is concerned about because that's what he's accusing Biden of. So we know that anything Republicans say is just projection. Yeah, there was another, I forget his name and what his position was. But another high-ranking Republican that had to resign because they found inappropriate pictures of kids on his computer.
Yeah.
Oh, another one.
Yeah, and he was a member of the Christian Coalition and some other religious organization that had moms in the name.
Oh, I think I've heard this one, yeah.
So this one wasn't the moms that can't count. It was
No.
What was this one?
I can't remember what the name of the group was.
Okay.
But yeah, the Million Moms has never had more than 4,000 members at their peak.
Right. Hence the moms that can't count.
Yep.
So I guess they were
Ivy,
homeschooled moms.
Yeah. Ivy, I am all for that. Yeah, definitely Trump and a good number of the Republicans in Congress should have to stand trial.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the only way we could rebuild any trust on the global stage.
Yeah.
Is if basically this administration had to go through the same thing that they did at the end of World War II. And you notice how they were making all the accusations about Democrats being in the Epstein files, but now that they've got all the files, they're not letting anyone see any of them.
Yeah.
No, don't you know those files? It's all fake. I mean, the Democrats are guilty for what they did in the files that are fake.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the meme
Can't follow
about.
it.
Yeah, I like the meme about Pam Bondi. And it has a series of quotes from her as she's, putting on makeup that, starts to look more and more like, clown makeup as she gets to, the Epstein files are on my desk. And then, when she puts the red nose on, that's, there is no Epstein list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that they are guilty about crimes against the planet because of all the environmental regulation they're canceling.
Yeah. And unfortunately, the way our system is set up, there are enough, Republicans in the legislature that are, sucking up to Trump that, they'll never get the votes to, impeach him or try him for crimes in office.
No, nothing could happen with it unless the Democrats, by some miracle, actually got a 2/3 majority.
Yeah.
Because even with the Democrats, even if the Democrats have more than 50% of the House, that's still not going to be enough to pass those kind of things.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, at this point, it really is that it just shows how badly broken our system is. That how was this ever possible to happen? And it goes all the way back to the beginning. That the founding fathers made one very seriously fatal mistake here.
Yeah.
They assumed that no one could ever get elected to office unless he was a gentleman.
Yeah, I can see how that's part of the problem.
Yep.
And even Nixon had the decency to resign.
Yeah.
And Trump was like, decency? What's that?
Well, but Nixon had the decency to resign knowing that one of his
Well,
buddies was about to
yeah.
take his place and pardon him for everything.
Yeah.
Trump, though, got carte blanche from the Supreme Court when they said that
Yeah.
anything that he does in office, he can't be charged for.
Well, as long as it's an official act. Of course.
Yeah. Well, and that's a big part of the problem already, is that a lot of his official acts are outside the powers of the presidency.
Yeah.
You know, he's done a lot of things, like, especially things with, like, he's canceled funding from some various projects, and Congress holds all the purse strings.
Yeah.
The president should not be able to affect funding for any project. It should always take a vote of Congress.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think, again, it's not specifically religion. It's that the Republican Party has done a good job of co-opting Christianity to, you know, use it for their own power means. Not that I want to stand here and defend Christianity. They've multitude of things that they've done over the centuries.
Yep.
That's weird.
What?
Oh, just my chat feed from the YouTube has, like, quit working a while ago.
Oh, it's been doing that a lot lately.
Sorry.
You have to reload it.
Yeah, I gotta go back and refresh the YouTube window and do the pop-out chat over.
It's been apparently been happening a lot to a lot of other people too.
Yeah, because I was just watching the StreamYard chat for the most part, but when I switched back to the YouTube chat, it was, like, you know, just way behind what we were, you know, on a topic that we had finished a good while ago. Yeah. I have been thinking a lot about Lavender Lady and, you know, just, well, over the summer in general. Because last summer we wound up losing 4 people in our community over the course of last summer. And I guess, you know, for me, it brought it all back because Petunia was Slothgirl's cat. And
yeah, I know that is.
month. Yeah, so that just kind of refreshed everything again.
Yeah, I've had that happen with stuff.
Yeah. Although she was 15 and she was half Maine Coon. And from everything I found on the internet, Maine Coons are only supposed to live about 12 years, so by any account, she was an old lady. So, anybody here have any experience with keeping reptiles as pets?
A little bit.
Okay, Molly's son had a gecko that died because the pet store gave him some bad advice. And, you know, he was quite attached to it. He used to take it for walks and things, so he was quite upset about that.
A gecko?
Yeah. And
Okay.
Did he advertise the wrong insurance?
that was good.
Thank you.
But well, Molly ran across a post of somebody giving away a bearded dragon for free. So she jumped on it, and we took an hour-plus drive to go and get the bearded dragon.
Wow.
She forgot to ask how big it was, and there wasn't anything in the picture to give a
Oh,
give a
jeez.
scale. So yeah, I was thinking that it was probably going to be, a lizard like the size of my hand. What we've got is a lizard that's 18 inches long. So we need to build a bigger enclosure for him.
Do you have the room to build this enclosure?
I'm going to have to talk Molly into that. Actually, there's a spot in their house that I think would be ideal for it. But mostly at this point, I'm concerned about, about what materials are suitable for it. Yeah, Maine Coons can get to be like 30 pounds. Petunia was about 20 pounds. So she weighed more than my other two cats put together. That if you add Ethan and Sammy together, you only get about 18 pounds. Yeah, so mostly I was just, wondering, I've been trying to read some things on the internet. So far, what I'm finding is fairly vague. It's just some warnings about not using pine or cedar.
Yes.
But, does that mean any other type of wood is safe, or are there just certain types of wood that I should use?
Almost sounds like the same situation with gerbils. But that's a totally different thing, so.
Yeah. So, mostly unfortunately, no one really has any money for this project either. So, I've got to try and do it cheaply, and was even thinking about the idea that, well, right now, fortunately, earlier in the summer, Molly had also found somebody giving away a 40-gallon fish tank, which they had, and we had cleaned it out, but they hadn't set it up for the fish yet. So that's what the beard dragon is in now, is a 40-gallon tank. But it is kind of small for him.
Yeah.
Just, for him to be able to turn around, he has to really curl his tail. What looks like it would be uncomfortably tight. And again, what I've been reading online is saying that for a lizard that size, like a 70-gallon tank minimum. So basically, we need to give him an enclosure at least twice the size of the one he's in now.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
So I was thinking that we could even, like deconstruct the tank he's in for the panes of glass. If I can build the rest of it out of wood and then just use those pieces for the glass front.
Sounds like an interesting idea.
So I just was trying to find out, can I just do it out of like birch plywood or what?
Birch would work, yes. Oak. You'll probably want something for him to climb on too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was part of it would be to make it taller so we could put some things inside for him to climb up on. And yeah, he has quite the claws. Michael did manage to trim his nails the other night. So he did bite once. I think that was a mistake. I think it was just kind of out of his peripheral vision. I think he mistook his finger for a worm.
Yeah. Wait a second. That's not food.
Yeah. So I did not realize, that they actually had such sharp teeth. But they are omnivores, so they have to have the teeth both for crushing up insects and for shredding vegetation. So yeah, also needless to say that this big guy eats considerably more than the gecko did. So while he had some bug colonies going to produce mealworms and superworms, the bearded dragon pretty much went through all of those in a couple of days.
Wow.
So we had to go to the pet store and get him some more bugs to make a bigger breeding colony.
Yeah.
But we're also was the concern that the suspicion of, well, somebody's giving him away free. Is there something wrong with him? But
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why somebody might give it away free. They don't have the room. They learn that they can't afford it anymore. I mean,
well, when we picked him up, the guy said that he was breeding snakes, so I think he just needed the extra tank for the snakes.
Yeah. Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah.
So, but he seems quite lively, and he's certainly got a hearty appetite. So, from all external indications, he's very healthy.
Yeah, well, this talk kind of reminds me of from a few weeks back watching the Clint's Reptiles. Was a video about Gus passing away. His pet lizard.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw something about that. I sometimes watch his channel. I don't watch it regularly. I'm not that into reptiles aside from turtles. When I was a kid, turtles were my special interest, really through all of grade school. That for about 10 years, everything was about turtles with me.
I like some of the stuff he covers is pretty interesting.
Oh yeah, he's an excellent presenter, and definitely a very good educator. But I watch the stuff if it's about turtles or dinosaurs and kind of skip over the rest of it. Trump sent agents to destabilize Greenland? I didn't hear about that one.
I didn't hear about that one either.
I'm not surprised he tried it. I'm only surprised I didn't hear about it. I'm sorry, Orla, that you're not being able to get any rest. I sympathize. Like I said, I went through that myself, and
I can relate too.
Yep. Been there, done that.
Yeah, basically, I just I lived in my recliner because I couldn't stand up straight and I couldn't fully lay down.
Yeah, I remember the first night after my surgery. I was sleeping on an air mattress in the room I'm currently in right now. My bedroom was on the second floor, and in the middle of the night, I had to go to the bathroom, and like I crawled into the bathroom, and I was like, I'm gonna have to stand up somehow. and I was hollering for my roommate like nobody's business, and he slept through the whole thing. And yeah, I managed to pull myself up enough to take care of business.
Yeah, well, I was the same. That I was crawling to the bathroom and just pulling myself up on the sink so I could get on the seat.
Yeah.
Good night, Ivy. I mean, if Ned needs to go to bed, I don't know why Ivy can't stay up and play. You know, he's got to let that little girl grow up at some point and, you know, let her be independent. That's always the hardest thing for parents to do. You know, when the kids get to be teenagers too, you know, let them learn to be independent so that they can start preparing for going out in the world on their own. Yeah, I know, but, you know, even if Ned's asleep and he's dreaming, you should still be able to be here, right? I know when I go to bed, you know, a lot of nights the characters in my head just won't shut up. That's why I lay in bed and I don't fall asleep for hours. I've got a cast of characters all insisting that I write down all their stories, and they won't leave me alone until I do. No, not you. Ethan was napping and lifted up my head just to give me a dirty look there, like I was talking about him. Actually, I have two incredibly polite kitties. Sure, why not sleep chatting?
Why not? My mom used to wash the dishes in her sleep.
Damn, I wish I could learn to do that, you know? That's really excellent multitasking there. You're getting something useful done while you're asleep?
The question is, how effective is it?
I don't know. Were the dishes clean in the morning?
The ones that weren't broken.
Clean, broken, either way, the dishes are done.
Yeah, I think those are two different usages of the word done.
Well, you're not going to eat off the dirty ones. You're not going to eat off the broken ones. So. A shared brain needs to make compromises. Yeah. I need to vacuum and clean my cat.
Or is that vacuum clean the cat?
Yeah. I actually did have a cat. Years ago, I had a cat that she actually loved to be vacuumed. That, you know, anytime I took out the little hand vac, anytime she heard that, she would run up to me and she wouldn't leave me alone until I had vacuumed her all over. And I'd do one side and she'd roll over for me to do the other side.
I'm guessing that wouldn't work with like a shop vac.
Now that she was scared of just because of the noise level.
Yeah.
This was the same cat who kept stealing all my red pieces. She was a very special one to me, and unfortunately, when my ex pushed me out of the house, since I didn't really have a place, I couldn't take her with me. And I knew that she was pretty close to the end. We were having to give her saline injections twice a day.
Oh,
So, I knew she wasn't going to be much longer, and it really bothered me that I couldn't, be there for her final days. Yep. Okay, so apparently I didn't have the only cat who likes that. Yeah, my guys don't really seem to be like scared of the vacuum, but they just know to stay out of the way. So like I bring the vacuum cleaner out and they're already like up on the cat towers or the windowsills before I turn it on. And Sammy usually just sits up on the top of the cat tower and watches me until I finish the room. Pro tip for people: if you have giant piles of clutter all over, you can't see most of the carpet, so then you don't have as much to vacuum.
My roommate might disagree with you on that.
Well, I've been doing it for years. It works fine for me. Hey, if somebody wants to come in here and organize this, help yourself. Because I have no clue how to do it. I have no organizational skills. Well, when they tested me, they said that I don't actually have ADHD. However, I also have no measurable executive skills. So as that executive functions are what they call it, just as far as being able to organize and keep things together. So it's actually a good thing for me that we have annual inspections. It makes sure that I can't let things go too badly.
Yeah.
And I have trouble. Now we're singing it. Vacuum cat, na na na.
No.
Goodbye. I blame Windows for my hard drives being a mess. Because I can never figure out, I go and I save something and I can never figure out which folder it's put it in. So it's like I'll write something and I won't be able to find it again, and it will take me months or even a couple of years before I ever find that file again.
Yeah, you definitely need to get a dedicated folder for that.
Yeah. I maintain they call it Windows because you can see your files, but you have no chance of actually getting to them. They need to install some doors. Okay, I need to get up for a minute here, so I'll be right back.
Yeah. So, I've just been sitting here looking over some of the stuff for the island. Wondering if maybe I would increase the size of the island into like maybe 160,000 square kilometers instead of 16,000. I mean, I've got enough. I'm working with a space of 500,000 square kilometers. So,
mind if I ask a pedantic question?
Sure.
Is that so? Does that mountain have a diameter of of 100 kilometers or an area of 100 square kilometers?
It's in square kilometers.
But it also says diameter.
No, that's spread out. So instead of measuring the height of it, I was measuring outward.
My point being,
not usually how you measure a mountain.
yeah. Diameter by definition is a linear measurement.
Yeah. The surface area it takes up. Okay.
Then
I know if I'm using wrong terminology, just ignore it.
And that's my, I guess that's my weekly moment of, well, actually. Got to do my job.
It was a little difficult to work that out, since you usually measure the height of a mountain rather than the surface area it takes up.
Yeah.
And I needed to figure out the surface area it took up.
So are we making actually going to be a normal feature on the show?
Sure, why not?
You've got to do a bit of that one every week. Now, see, actually, though, you were talking about the area of the mountain, and you were giving a measurement for the area of the footprint of the mountain.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you need to do some trigonometry to figure out what the actual area of the slopes are, because that's going to be larger than the area of the footprint. And that's actually the part that's going to be important to the animals is, how big of an area is there for plants to grow on and for that kind of stuff.
So we're tag teaming with our actuallys.
Yeah.
Wherever the mountain starts, slope, whatever.
Yeah.
How much space that's taking up. But I was sitting here looking at here was if I was thinking about including this guy, Zuniceratops.
Yep. Yeah,
And
one of the smaller ceratopsians.
Yep. He lived in subtropical wetlands in, I believe it was New Mexico. And this guy here, a dwarf, island-dwelling elephant from.
Yep. Okay, so are you going with all dwarfed animals just for saving space?
Mostly. I am trying to make it a pseudo-realistic ecosystem. So.
Pseudo-realistic ecosystem, so you're not just going to cram all of them onto a boat together?
No. I'm actually looking into how they would interact and whatnot.
Sorry, Purple. That one took me a minute.
I may have to reevaluate the actual size of the island. But anyway.
I've been thinking about that too, that if I make up a list of all the normal objections that we argue about the Ark, I can probably come up with more plausible answers to these than we're hearing from many of the Christians.
Yeah.
Like the objection about how did all the animals from all over the world get there? Based on the story of Jonah, we can assume that the great whales all acted as Ubers to bring the animals from the other continent.
and all the most of the marsupials took a Uber chain to Australia then.
Well, and that's why you don't find any evidence, of any of the marsupials on other continents on their way back. Is because they've got pockets, so they always picked up the bones of their own, fallen comrades and took them with them.
There you go. Perfect.
Sorry, Mage, you were still talking, and I completely sidetracked.
No, it's okay.
I am back to chair full of kitties.
Molly's wanting to play fetch.
Yeah.
She has these,
Sammy came and cleaned my lap before I could pick up the keyboard again.
she has the remains of a stuffed plushie here that she's playing with. She may bark.
Oh, and okay, people need to realize that, you all need to have one of the IKEA Blahas on your bed. Because the Blaha shark is a critical part of the plushie ecosystem. Just thought you all need to know that.
I had never thought of plushies in terms of an ecosystem. You have expanded my horizons, Purple.
Well, that's also why you have to make sure that, you always keep a fresh pillow on the bed. Just so that they all have something to graze on.
Good one.
Otherwise the teddy bear is going to go out and go and eat the puppies.
And we wouldn't want that.
Okay. Oh. So are we running out of steam? Should we wrap it up for the day?
I guess.
I see by the StreamYard timer I've been going about 2.5 hours. Of course, I wasn't here for the first half hour. Okay. Well, unfinished. Have you got anything that you want to plug before we go?
Let's see. Just did want to mention the My Country 'Tis of Thee project that I mentioned earlier. I asked Bree about it, and in addition to saying that she's willing to contribute, she also said that she would close out every episode of the Transpositions show with it.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, damn, I'm right up there with Angry Gay Grandpa.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye out in that place for whatever this thing turns out to be.
Okay, well, what's the best way for people to contact you if they want to be helping with that project?
So I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Blue Sky as My Unfinished Journey.
Okay.
And my email address is myunfinishedjourney@gmail.com.
Yeah, I just realized that you've, been a regular on our show for a while now. And I need to get all of your links together to put in the descriptions.
Okay.
That I have not been doing that, where it's, normally I do that with anyone who's on the show.
Well, yeah, I hadn't thought that was unusual because I mean, Porpoise, comes on periodically, and
Yeah, I'm sorry. It completely slipped my mind because it's like every time I set up the new shows, I just cut and paste from one of the old shows for the description links.
Gotcha.
And I just kept forgetting that I never put you in there.
Yeah, not a problem.
So if you would on Twitter DM me, all of your various links, I
Sure.
will add them all on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Mage, what have you got going on? What's your show Sunday going to be about?
I'm not sure what it's going to be about just yet. I'll figure something out, though.
Yep, rest well, all my friends. And even my enemies.
They can rest in peace.
Yeah, well, everybody needs a good night's sleep. Hey, what did the visitors from the Lego planet say when they arrived?
What?
We come in pieces.
Yes, not in Legos, but in pieces of Lego.
Yep. Okay. So with that joke worthy of Sloth Girl, we will see you all next week, and we will be back to our regular time starting at 2:00 Central. So bye-bye, everyone.
Be yourself.